everyone! So I have a bit of time, well actually I have a lot of time before I gotta leave for my interview today. Oh my god. I have an interview. It has been forever since I had an interview. But today I'm doing half a book review because technically this is 2 books in one about the same diamond. So Twice the Temptation by Suzanne Enoch. Okay, so we read the back, and this is basically Rick Addison's family line because, you know, Colonel Addison, Marquis of Raleigh, and Richard, that's his full name, Richard Addison is now the current Marquis of Raleigh. So it's his family line. So it's about this diamond called the Nightshade Diamond, and yeah. So I'm going to review this. A Diamond or Forever. I think that's how it's pronounced. And then this is the next one. So Diamond or Forever. This is a Regency / Victorian. Yeah, Victorian because it's 1814. So that dress is awesome. But it's that year frame. Sometimes they delegate it as Regency or as Victorian. Or I think sometimes they even say it's historical because it's in the past. Anyway, yeah. So this is the story of Evangeline and Connell. Like Connoll. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I just kept pronouncing it as Connell. It's them basically getting together within a week. So I kind of didn't like it because this was way too fast, and I'm just like, okay, this is interesting. Like, all in all, this half of the story is kind of interesting, the way this diamond is either influencing everybody around it, or people around it think the diamond has influenced them. Either like that people put stuff on the diamond, or it's the diamond itself. Much in the way of, you know, the ring in Lord of the Rings, or, you know, Middle-earth, how that is perceived. It's sort of in the same way, but not exactly, because this diamond can't really start talking, or like it can't start talking to you. So, which I like that kind of thing. Well, I don't like that thing, but I like it in this book. This half of the book is actually pretty interesting. But the actual like romance of the part, it's like, yeah, I'm really miffed that it's like a week that you're basically saying I love you and I want to marry you and all that, and yet at the same time, because of the influence of this diamond and actually the way these two characters are, more specifically Evangeline, or Gilly as her nickname is, which is weird. Her mother influenced Evangeline in the way that we're presented with her in the beginning, and how she progresses throughout the book. Evangeline's progression, like herself, like finding her real self, is actually interesting, but it's a little too rushed. Colin? I'm just gonna call him Colin. No, but that's not his name. It's Connell. It's Connell. Maybe I should just call him Con. Con's personality kind of remains the same throughout the entire book. He just more of his niceness and sweetness and kindness comes out more, but he still remains the same, whereas Gilly, she becomes more of herself. She's intelligent, witty, and there's something else I can't remember that he basically describes of her all the time. Yeah, it's really great personal progression. Just it's weird how this has been done, and how I like it and don't like it at the same time. I kind of dislike it, like the tiniest bit, so it's like a 55 to 45% kind of thing, whereas like the 55 is like, it's a week and you're in love with each other and getting married. But internally I'm like, at this time, it's like, they're dying a lot faster than we are, and just like, that usually kind of tends to happen. Like, they'll spend a month courting each other and be like, oh, let's get married now. Or like, that kind of thing. They don't spend like years dating, or like, well, yeah, years dating, or like a few years dating, not like years and years, but like maybe like 2 years dating and then maybe get married if they like each other then, or whatever. So yeah, this is an interesting beginning to the story. Yeah, this is the next part. Diamonds are not a girl's best friend, which is now in the present, and it's 2007, which it never, in the previous books it never said the year, it just kept saying like the day and the time that stuff happened, but now it actually says June 2007. So yeah, and I read and the copyright is also 2007, like beginning here. There we go, that page. So yeah, I should like the second half a lot more because I really have been liking like the present day storyline. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I read a historical Regency Age by Enoch, and I didn't really like it. And so I can understand why I'm not really liking the first half of this book. Yeah. But yeah, that's the first half, and now I'm on to the second half, which is our main characters, Samantha and Richard. Yay! Now I get to find out why diamonds are not a girl's best friend, and how Samantha is going to keep her dreams. Like apparently, like the ex-boyfriend comes into it, and then apparently Rick tests their boundaries of the relationship. I don't know how, because I thought he already did that before, but now, so yeah. I will be basically, I'll have the other half of this story in a different shirt and on a different day. So I will see you back in a little bit. Hi everyone. So wow. Okay. So I look like I may kind of have had like a weird time outside, but I don't really want to open my curtains. One, that's one. Two, I don't really feel like bringing my light over here because I feel really lazy, and like I really don't want to get up at all. Ow, that hurts. But yeah, those are my 3 reasons that I don't really want to get up, and you're gonna deal with like weird face. So, but you know, I finished this book finally. So yes, I read this story now. This is Samantha and Rick's Hands. So yeah, I don't think I'll be keeping this book because the only time it became actually really good was in the last 2 chapters. Yeah, the last 2 chapters of Samantha and Rick's part of the book. In general, the fact that this diamond may not actually like really be cursed, but situations happen and people react weirdly to people are acting different to, I guess, certain situations where they probably would act differently, but it may, I don't know, but the whole plot line, the whole story in general is pretty good. It's pretty decent, but I already said what the first half, so I want to focus on the second half with Rick and Samantha. Again, it was actually a pretty decent story. They're back at Raleigh Park in England, and Rick has made the old stable into like some kind of gallery slash that's if you hear any bleeps, that's Discord. Like this sealed room kind of place where to keep paintings and stuff like that preserved and so they don't ruin over time. And then he's made a separate bigger facility for all the horses, like a bigger stable and whatnot. And so they find this diamond, they find the cursed diamond in the old, stable. And things already start happening right there. Even before a lot of the more, cat burglary stuff starts happening, that obviously will always happen when Samantha is involved. I liked that part. I liked the sort of oh my god, this just happened, and it's like the worst thing that could have happened. Just a lot of that, her ex comes back with her, she has actually she had it on her person, and that's when it happened. She didn't know it was on her. It was in a pocket somewhere, and then there was like the press day, so like all the media, the reporters, photographers and whatnot come in basically first, and they come advertise it basically, even though it's already been on tour. They're just showing it off in the new space. And one of the photographers is her ex, and it's like, oh, that's not good. That's really not good. So the little surprises like that were actually pretty decent. And like, they weren't, oh my god, this was amazing, these little shocking surprises. They were pretty good. I liked them. And just the way sometimes like her and Rick would react is like, wow, this is like over the top of your reactions, and it's just like, it's a bit strained. And then the whole situation between Rick and Samantha, like between them personally, not like stuff outside. Like this guy named Henry Larson, who was supposedly the assistant is something else, and then he's being a complete asshole. He is. That character is basically a complete asshole. And so like outside forces are causing stuff to happen within Rick and Samantha's relationship. And on top of that, Rick and Samantha, just by themselves, create this weird tension. And I don't, in this situation, I don't see a lot of faults in Samantha, but sometimes the way she's handling it, it's hard for her to let people in because she's been on her own so long, but she really needs to let Rick in. And it's like, yes, this is your gig, you are the security consultant and, you know, the person who's keeping all this secure, and so that there's no thefts happening, but Rick is your partner. He's there for you, and he's always going to be there for you. Apparently you should know that, and she should know that, and he will help you with anything and everything. And I'm like, you need to let him help you, not so much take over, but like, I don't know, just be your backup and come, like, be behind you, and like, you're handling the situation yourself, but he is there to help. He is there to offer help, and you just are like, don't want him to even say, I'm here to help you, I'm here to offer my help to you, and for me to be of use to you. That was my one little tick with her, but it wasn't as big as the fact that when they first find the cursed stone, or the supposed cursed stone, she's like, I believe in superstitions, and I do not want this on my person. I want this, like, somewhere else. Well, you know, put it in a museum, put it in a glass dome so people can see it, but, like, you know, not touch it, because once you touch it, and it's sort of like on your person, you get bad luck, but if it's off your person and whatnot, you get the good luck back. So she's like, you know, put that thing back, I don't want anything to do with it, she's superstitious. But Rick is like, there's no such thing as curses, and you're being silly to be superstitious, there goes my phone. And he's like, I think the diamond was being an influence on him to be, he's kind of being a dick through the whole, like, this is what I believe, I need you to respect the fact that I believe in curses, I believe in superstition, I don't want that thing anywhere near me, so please keep that away. But no! Rick has to be a dick and put it on her person, as I said, and a lot of this bad stuff starts initially starts happening, like her ex appearing, and like he's a thief alongside it, and just like Rick, why? And he's like, I'm doing nothing wrong, I'm trying to prove to you that there are no such thing as curses. And it's like, who fucking cares if there's no such thing as curses? I am a superstitious person, and I just don't want that on my person. I don't want that I don't want that anywhere near me. Please respect that. I don't want that near me. I want that locked up. I want that thing buried. I know. And so it encouraged her to be like really mad at him. I would be mad at him. I've had certain situations where it's like, my boyfriend has done kind of the same thing, not like put an actual physical thing on like secretly hidden something on me, but he's kind of not respected something that I believe in, and I just, but we work it out, we talk, and like, you know, he comes to respecting the fact that, you know, whatever the thing is, like, he starts respecting it, and I'm, you know, I'll be the same way as him and whatnot. But Rick, this was going so good. Books 2 and 3 were great, but no, book number 4 had to be like this. Wow, I really, there we go, it's a little bit wider. But I guess I'm a little warm, that's all. Let's try and keep my document open and it's a little wider. So yeah, that is a big reason why I don't want to keep it, because like, I'm just really annoyed. Like, it's not a good annoyance where it's like, oh, Rick, I can get over this annoyance, but it's like, it's like this book I was doing, editing this book review of Aunt Divinity and the Summer King. You should have hopefully have already seen it, where her father-in-law has these sisters or cousins or something like that, but they're called the aunts, and they are horrendous, but they are amazing at being horrendous, and it's like, I love how horrible these aunts are. Like, it works so well, and like, I love this book, and I love how horrible these people are, because like, everything else around them, like, works it out, so it's like, everything is better, even though they're so horrible. Everything else is so good, but that's not the way with Rick. No, I'm sorry. And kind of the way I feel about Samantha not letting basically Rick in to help. Not so much to take over, or like, you know, if you designate him to do a job, like, just have him do that. But it's like, no, you have to be super in control. And I'm realizing that I'm seriously realizing that is me in a nutshell. I am very stubborn. I like to do things on my own first before I ask for help, but I feel like I'm a bit better in that situation than Samantha. But with my boyfriend, I feel like I'm getting better. Like, I'm so much better at, like, you know, letting him help, or like asking him for his opinion and whatnot. But Samantha, oh gosh, Samantha. And then, oh, it really only got better in the last 2 chapters. And I'm excluding the epilogue, which I would be saying the last 3 chapters, but it's the last 2 official chapters, so 12 and 13. They were really good. The action was amped up. And it was so good. And I got concerned for everyone, and it's like, oh my god, something really bad could happen. Because like, before this, it was like, I don't need, like, okay, I understand that Rick and Samantha, they're always probably going to be quarreling and probably fighting, but the previous 2, it was like a good amount mixed in with a lot of amped up action. Whereas in this one, a lot of it was just sometimes almost like really petty, but not completely, because, yeah, it's whatever I just said, because now I'm losing my train of thought. And there was not enough of the amped up action, so yeah, it's not one of, but obviously the best in this series, and there's only 1 book left in this series. Nah, only 1 more. But I can't make a recommendation that you read it, because I personally didn't like it myself. Like, I really didn't like the first half, and I know why, because I had the England's Perfect Hero, and I thought that was going to be amazing, and it was like this Victorian Regency age, and like, no, it wasn't all that great. Book 2 was, no, I think it was book 1. Yeah, because I didn't get to read book 2, and that was really sad. So, actually, no, I didn't like the entire series. Maybe. I don't know, I can't remember book 1's review. and I couldn't read book 2 because apparently that's not in existence. So yeah, and I definitely recommend, but I do recommend the Samantha Jellicoe series in a whole because it is good, especially 2 and 3. 2 and 3. 1, it's okay. Like, it's the start of a series. Sometimes the first book is not always the best, but I think it's a good place to, it's the where you need to start, because if you get into it before, like, when they're already kind of an established couple, it kind of won't make a whole lot of sense. Suzanne does make reference to, like, the first book and how they progressed, but you definitely should read the first one. I don't know about this one. I think you could skip this one, but I don't know because I still haven't read the 5th book, and I won't be able to because I put It by Stephen King on hold. Yes, I did. So I've seen the original one with Tim Curry, and I kind of liked it. I totally did not remember, like, the second half of the movie when they're all together and they're eventually fighting against Pennywise. Did not remember anything. I remembered it completely differently. So I think I must have been watching something on TV where it was sort of introed into it, but then it became something else. I don't really know. I was totally thinking of something else. But recently I watched the new one, and it's basically a part 1 to the series. Like, literally at the end of the movie it says chapter 1. And they're gonna be making a part 2 where it's gonna be the adults, but they will have flashbacks to their childhood for some other stuff for some reason. I don't, like, not for some reason, but like for reasons. And eventually, like, when I heard that there was a new version of It, I thought it was just the entire movie, like the original, the Tim Curry one, but no, it's actually a 2-parter. So we get the first part, and it's like, apparently it's like that in the book too. Like, the first part is the first time they fight Pennywise, and then the second half is when they actually officially kill him. Yes! So, as I said, well, the first time I heard that this movie was coming out, I was like, I should probably read the book. It's taken me this long to actually put it on hold. I don't know when part 2 or like chapter 2 is going to be coming out, like the adult half of this movie. Maybe next year, maybe in the next 2 years, sort of thing. But it should be coming out soon. I don't know. I haven't heard anything. I haven't been on. I don't even know how they're going to title it. But anyway, I have it on hold and it's in transit. But I'm gonna start this book, and it is gonna be super long because I have a bunch of days where it's like, this is gonna take a few days, and also I'm gonna be taking the bus and stuff like that, like especially on Monday when I go to my networking session again. So I wanted to have a book to read, and I'm hoping I usually end up finishing these in a week, so but I'm coming to a weekend with Manny, so we'll see. But I usually can tend to finish these in about a week, roughly. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna start this book. Even if I don't finish it when Tuesday comes, I should maybe I'm just hoping I'll finish it in the relative time when I do pick up the Stephen King book, so that I can start that right away. Even though I'm probably gonna have to put it on, try to renew it and then put it on hold, maybe, because that thing's gonna take fucking long. So let's get to reading this. Now, I haven't even said anything, but I'm gonna be reading this, Dark Destiny by Kristin Feehan. Oh my god, why am I being ridiculous? I don't know. But this is kind of a reread for me. Not in the sense that I read the actual book, but I listened to this book on audio. So it's been a while. I do know, like, kind of the gist of it, sort like the beginning part. I don't know the entirety of it because I do not remember a whole lot. I do vaguely remember that, and it might be wrong. Dear Lord, this is going to be a long book review. But before I read that, the female kind of I think is enslaved to a vampire, and she thinks she's no good for the world, and I think she's trying to commit suicide. I can't remember if she's human or if she is a Carpathian, but I know she feels like really kind of depressed and yeah, that way. And that's about all that I remember. So let's read the back now. Again, this yellow part here, I don't need to read. Her childhood had been a nightmare of violence and pain until she heard his voice calling out to her. Golden and seductive, the voice of an angel. He had shown her how to survive, taught her to use her unique gifts, trained her in the ancient art of hunting the vampire. Yet he could not bend her to his will. He could not summon her to him, no matter how great his power. As she battled centuries-old evil in a glittering labyrinth of caverns and crystals, he whispered in her mind, forging an unbreakable bond of trust and need. Only with him can she find the courage to embrace the seductive promise of her dark destiny. Okay. So, what I just said before this, I might be completely wrong, but yeah. So yes, this has been my book review. I hope you liked it. If you did, you can hit that like button over there. And thus, if you've read Twice the Temptation, please let me know how you thought about it. And if you've read the Suzanne Enoch series, let me know in the comments below. Just, yeah. And if you didn't really like this series, just don't really be nasty about it. Just don't be nasty in general, okay? Because adult romance books are great still, okay? They are great. And if this is the first time you're watching my videos, please hit that big red subscribe button down there by my picture for more book reviews, hauls, let's plays, unboxing, unbagging, something to come in a bubble wrap, manila envelope, or a plastic bag wrap thingy, vlogmas, random vlogs, and random videos. I have no idea where to categorize. Also, I ordered my next Nora Roberts books because the one I ordered for this month was not the one I wanted. So yeah, I'm starting to get a little hot. I need to increase my fan, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.